everybody. Welcome. Joined with Marianne van, how do you pronounce your name?
Van Katwijk. Yes, it's a tough one.
Thank you. And before we start today, we're going to do something a little bit different. We usually open sacred space privately, but I've been feeling called to open it together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to invite everybody to open sacred space with us and hold that vibration, whoever's listening today. So wherever you are, whatever's comfortable to you, we're going to find the direction of the south. And when we open sacred space, what we're doing is we are calling in the different directions and guides and spirits to assist us in the highest vibration, the highest evolution of all of what we're doing here today. You can do this at home at any point in time if you'd like to, and I'm just going to show you what we do today. So if you'd like to either stand or face or whatever you're comfortable towards the south, and I'm just going to do an invocation for that direction first. So let me figure out where south is. Okay, so to the winds of the south, great serpent, wrap your coils of light around us. Teach us to shed the past, the way you shed your skin, to walk softly on the earth. Teach us the beauty way. Welcome, spirit guardians of the south. We're going to turn to the west. To the winds of the west, Mother Jaguar, protect our medicine space. Teach us the way of peace, to live impeccably. Show us the way beyond death. Welcome, spirit guardians of the west. Turn to the north. To the winds of the north, hummingbird, grandmothers and grandfathers, ancient ones, come and warm your hands by our fires. Whisper to us in the wind. We honor you who have come before us, and you who will come after us, our children's children. Welcome, spirit guardians of the north. And finally, we turn to the east. To the winds of the east, great eagle, condor, come to us from the place of the rising sun. Keep us under your wing. Show us the mountains we only dare to dream of. Teach us to fly wing to wing with great spirit. And actually, that was not the last one. So I always invocate the Mother Earth. We've gathered for honoring all of your children, the stone people, the plant people, the four-legged, the two-legged, the creepy crawlers, the finned, the furred, and the winged ones, all of our relations. Welcome, spirit guardians of the earth. And Father, Son, Grandmother Moon, to the star nations, great spirit, you who are known by 1,000 names, and you who are the unnameable one, thank you for bringing us together and allowing us to sing the song of life. And finally, I add in to the within, put my hands on my heart center, and I just go within and call upon my higher self and that which is within me and within all of us. And I call that forward today. Thank you. And I'm just going to take a few deep breaths into that, and I invite you to join me. Just grounding into the earth and feeling into Mother Earth's energy. And our intention today of the beJoy podcast and having Marianne today is to connect, elevate, and expand our conscious community for the greatest good of all. And so with that, I welcome Marianne, and she is a sacred sex coach. Is that right, Marianne?
Yes, thank you for inviting
Oh my gosh.
me. Thank you for this beautiful opening. It was beautiful.
Thank you. So I am really excited to hear kind of what you do. And from what I found on your page, I got connected with you on Instagram on Unleash Your Wildness, and you do quite a bit of the awareness around sexuality, around, tantra and all of that. So can you kind of explain to us what that is and what you do for pretty much the entirety of us that don't know what it is?
Yeah, sure. Let me just get a sip of water because I have an itchy throat.
Sure, of course.
Excuse me.
Awesome.
Yes, so what am I doing? Well, I'm working with women on their sexuality. Excuse me.
Mhm.
And yeah, I've been working mostly with women who either feel that they want to become more confident in their sexuality with their body, who want to love their own body. They feel disconnected from their own body, feel disconnected from their sexuality. I have lots of women who that I work with that are in relationship and they feel like they want to enjoy their sexuality, but in the reality, they, the man is inviting them, or their man is inviting them to, be intimate, and they end up just crying because it's not working. They want it, but their body is doing something else. So I also have women that come to me because they're basically suffering. They experience pain, they experience frustration, they experience anger, they experience sadness, or a whole lot of emotions that come up in relation to their sexuality. And yeah, I bring women back to connect them to their own body, to connect to that life force that is connected to your sexuality, and uh, yeah, let that flow again, open that again, take all these layers of shame and conditioning that's poured or piled on top of our sexuality, to take those layers, to peel those layers away, and to bring them back to their yeah, authentic, natural wildness that each woman has inside of her. And when I say wildness, you might think like, oh, I see screaming women with wild hair, but it's really this wild power that when you go into nature, like when you look at
Mhm.
mountains and a waterfall or a natural river, there is this pure wild energy attached to it, and all women have that inside of them as well.
I love that. That's so beautiful. You painted such a good picture of that too.
Yeah.
So, and I have to ask, I'm sure everybody is wondering, how do you become at a place where you can teach that? What was your path? How did you
Yes.
get to where you're at right now?
Yeah, it's basically been my life journey.
Okay.
Um, and it's been really like all kinds of loose pieces that finally all came together. I was very sexually liberated as a young child, so I was self-pleasuring a lot. Yeah, since I can remember, like from age of 2 years old, or according to my mother, probably maybe even before that.
Oh,
I was
wow.
already in touch with my body and knew like how my body was working and responding to my own touch, like my clitoris, my yoni. Even when I was a little bit older, like the internal part of my vagina, I was also exploring that, and yeah, it gave me a deep connection to myself. And then when I became teenager, I start to lose that connection because boys came into my life, and insecurity came into my life. So yeah, heartbreak after heartbreak was also kind of an initiation into this part that was slowly being like a build up of the kind of like a sexual repression, and the shame and the fear and the guilt in my own body. And I studied psychology. I studied a lot of energetic healing, like Reiki, energetic clearing. Yeah, there's so many things that I've been doing that are now all coming together in my work. But the biggest thing that actually got me to teach focused on sexuality is that because when I was studying psychology, I really wanted to study also sexuology, but in Amsterdam there was no sexuology master, so in the end I decided to do social psychology instead. But when I gave birth to my boy, they did an episiotomy, so they cut my vagina to make the birth go faster. And then, of course, they need to sew up that cut again. So it was a big wound, and I still have a huge scar. And from the moment that they cut, well, not that exact moment, because you're high with all these natural endorphins of just giving birth and this new baby, so you're in a pink cloud. But after all these hormones start to fade away, the pain came, and my body started to close off towards my partner, and my mind really wanted to still enjoy intimacy with him, still have sex with him, but my body started to close down more and more and more, until the point that even if he was trying to touch me, my whole body was in like frozen. It literally was freezing up in tension and shake, and like I couldn't open myself anymore. And I was like, what's happening? I've been growing up very open and liberated, and I know my sexuality, and then now this. But it's like when they cut my vagina, it's as if they cut open my body, and like they opened up like Pandora's box of all the little traumas and all the little things and all the emotions like that I experienced in my teenage years with a broken heart, and all these things that I stored in my body, that suddenly it opened up in all the shit.
And non-physical. Yeah.
Yeah, all
Wow.
it became like a huge trauma response in my own body. And then I was like, I want to fix this. I want to, you know, do something about this. And I did a lot of tantra studies before. I was working with the jade egg before. I was reading lots of books. So all these things I put together, and then I decided to do another study on how to actually become a sexuality coach. And I did also before, during my psychology study, lots of coaching certifications. So everything came together, and that's where I am now. I lived through the pain, and I have the background, the knowledge, the studies that I did, and everything fits perfectly together. And it's really such a blessing to guide women back into their the love for themselves, the love for their own body, and finding that pleasure. And it doesn't need to even sometimes be sexual, like just the pleasure of like, yeah, being connected to your own body, feeling that life force energy inside your own body, loose from being sexual with a partner, but just for yourself. And it's amazing the changes that the women have gone through, and that they describe to me what's changing in their lives.
That's incredible and so powerful too. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And obviously, since 2 years old, you've been in touch with your calling forever. That's amazing.
Crazy, huh?
Yeah, and it's so true what they say about your trauma and how you turn your pain and heal from that into your gifts and sharing that and teaching that with others. So I'm so glad that you're able to be at a spot where you can share that with us today. I have no idea where to start. I'm curious about, for you, what are some things right now that you're seeing come up, with energetically with what we have going on in the world, and kind of the reason that I've picked up this past month and why I reached out to you is this connection to the feminine and remembering our power and releasing that shame around, we've been suppressed as women for so long, with witches and sluts and whores and all of this kinds of things, being burnt and having our voices taken away, raped, and even just oh, I could go on and on with even the world in
Yeah.
general, and Mother Nature, and how that is a reflection of it. And I feel like that pendulum is coming back into force. And what are you seeing with all of that right now? Does that play into your work as well?
Oh yes, yeah, definitely. It's like, like you said, there's so much here to go into, to talk about. Like we could fill a few episodes like
Yeah.
talking about this. But yeah, definitely, like it's like your inner world is reflecting on the outer world. Like this is first of all what I see also in the coaching sessions, because women come to me with one problem, their sexuality. I work with them, like if you work one-on-one with me, it's like a 5-month container, and then after the 5 month they say like, wow, I thought we would work on my sexuality, but it's been reflecting to every part of my life. Like suddenly, I received a new job. Suddenly my relationship is blooming again, and like there's so many things that are changing because of how we feel on our inner world and inside of us. So it's the same with what's going on in the world. So many women start to realize and wake up to, or whatever you how you want to label it, but that they're not fully satisfied. They are in relationships, most of the, like, if I look at my own circle of friends, I think out of my 10 friends, there's maybe 2 who are still in a relationship happily and they have a good relationship. The other 8, they're all getting out of their relationship at the moment because it's not working anymore. They have been suffering for 5 years, 10 years, 18 years, 20 years, and they want change. Uh, and I think it's reflected also, yeah, what we see in the world. Like it's not working, we're a slave to the
Mm,
system. We are doing things that are
yes.
not really fulfilling us. It's not really connected to our desires, but we feel like we have to do it to you know to
Be
satisfy the
successful. Yes.
society. And
Yes.
this is, I think, what women feel in the relationship. And it's not the fault of the men also. I don't want to say like all these men, they are wrong. No, we all, um, yeah, were born into this. So we don't know better. But even men, they feel something's off too. They also feel, out of their power. Because if a woman is not in tune with her true desires, she cannot word them clearly. This is what I need. This is what I want. And men really want to give. Like if you talk about feminine and masculine, so the feminine is to receive, the masculine is to give. They really want to be of service. And if a woman is not truly like, she's not clear, or she doesn't know what it is that she desires, she cannot word it clearly to the masculine, and then he cannot give what she needs. So there is like all this frustration and things going on, and I think this is exactly what we see also in our society. There's so much frustration, there's so much, yeah, not really being in tune with our true nature. And I think we're shifting, we need to go through the pain basically to, yeah, to get to where we really want to be.
Totally, to awaken. And that's what we're doing right now, is we're going through this huge pain and suffering. So
Yes.
hopefully we can all awakening. It's the great awakening,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. And also, all this remembrance, like you said, of the witches, and even
Mm.
the word like witch, bitch, and whore. Like so many people get triggered when you say these 3 words. But the witch is basically the wise woman. The bitch is the one who's really rooted in her own desires, and she's not afraid to speak up. It's really a powerful woman, a woman in her power. And the whore is the woman that knows what she desires, that knows what she likes, and also she's very much in her power, and she's yeah, able to speak what she wants. And I think, we've been labeled and blamed and shamed and tortured and raped and burned for being in our power, so that we don't even know anymore what it feels like to be in our power, because there's still so much also fear and pain attached to it.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I have goosebumps running all through my body when you're talking about that because,
Yes,
yeah, it's like a total activation, those words in and of itself.
yes,
Um, Definitely. And I think the more that we have the conversations, the more you start to turn on to remembering.
yes,
And that's probably the most important piece of it is remembering, when things feel familiar to you. And even, I'm sure many people will be triggered by a lot of the conversations that we're having.
for sure.
And
Yeah,
I want to put out a reminder that, when you are triggered, that's good. That means
yes,
that you're
definitely.
being signaled,
Yeah,
and it's okay to disagree. It's okay to not understand, but I would invite curiosity around the triggers and around the frustrations, and to, explore that a little bit more and maybe sit with it, because we're very used to seeking comfort.
yeah,
Um, and maybe exploring that discomfort, and then, so then that brings me to pleasure. And I'm actually staying with a friend right now, and I was really excited. I was telling her all about our conversation today, and I'm like, is there any questions that you have for her?
yeah,
And then we just opened up a whole container of all of these different things that we're experiencing. And I don't know how old you are, Marianne, but we're in our late 20s. And so some of the things that we were wondering, like as we get older, our sexual drive has decreased. And we were kind of wondering why that is,
yeah,
versus when we were very young. And also, it was brought up to me that some people experience pain now, sexually, and their vagina, vulva, all those kinds of things. And I also want to touch on that a little bit to see if you have any insight onto differentiating those different kinds of things. And so going back to the question is like, what is that all about? So all of these things that we experience as women in regards to our genitalia, like the pain or discomfort, do you have any insight? Is that generally speaking stress as we age, or what do you think? What are your thoughts?
yes, yeah. I definitely have an answer for that. Well,
Okay.
I'm 43, but I feel like in my late 20s.
Oh
It
yeah.
never. Yeah, that's very funny. But my body is definitely changing, because I started to become. I'm early premenopausal, so there's a lot of things happening in my body again at this moment. But as what I noticed, and also like after I gave birth, it became more obvious. But the like when you are in your teenage years, or maybe even early 20s, lots of times women have sex because, not because they're really ready, not because they really are like wanting it sometimes also, but more so because they think that's what how it, you know, that's what you do when you have a boyfriend. Like the movies all tell us, like once you're in a relationship, you know, you lay down, you open your legs, and it's happening like chick chuck. You need to be wet instantly. And for
Yeah.
most women, it's actually the body is not working like that. We need a much longer time to warm up. We actually needed a lot, like 20 minutes, sometimes 40 minutes of foreplay, but we never actually do that. So when you program your own body to think that, you know, fast sex is like, I call it fast sex, but you know, like, but without the foreplay is what is normal. Like, and many women, even if there is some foreplay, they're still not fully aroused. Too much, too many times we've been penetrated when we're not truly ready, when we're not truly aroused. And at some point, the older that you get, uh, your body is starting to speak up. Slowly, slowly, your body will let you know, hey, your yoni is telling you you're not listening, you're not really feeling me, you're just, you know, you're having sex without me actually wanting it, without my consent. And if you keep on doing it and you keep on not listening, your yoni is going to start screaming in the hands of like, I feel pain, or I'm not getting as wet anymore as I used to be, because she's wanting you to listen. She's wanting you to really be in tune with her, and yeah, give her that time, that space to really get into full arousal. And so many women don't do that. They don't have that time. They don't give themselves that time, but also because we never been taught these things. So
Oh my gosh,
what
yeah.
we've been taught is through Hollywood movies, like, even our sex education at school, like, what do we get? A banana or a broomstick, and they put a condom over it, and that's it. Like, that's what's
Yeah,
they don't teach us about female pleasure, and
no.
it's a huge part of our sexuality, and we are been ignoring it, and we because we don't know. And that's why our body is yeah, the older you get, the more it starts to speak to you, to say, hey, please listen.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So then, is that when your body is asking you to listen in that sense, is it asking you to understand what pleases you? Or like, is there something else just communicating that maybe communicating your needs? Or what exactly is it that your body's trying to tell you in those instances where there is pain or sensitivity?
Yeah, I think all of that, like, really learning first, getting to know your own body, like, what, even like having a look down there. How many women have never actually looked with a mirror to see what they look like? Most women say, no, I will never do that, that's disgusting. Why do you think it's if you think your vulva is disgusting, how can you have amazing sex? You can't. You have to love your own body. And like, men know exactly what their dick looks like. And women don't look, but it's crazy, like, there. And also, if you think about how much plastic surgery there's going on now with very young girls, that they cut the labia, the lips, because they think it's abnormal down there, because they watch pornography. In pornography, it's all photoshopped, it's without hair, it's all symmetric, the anus is bleached. No woman looks like that. So we have a completely distorted view of our own body. And if you can't see the sacredness of your own vulva, then it's very hard to actually learn what your body loves, because there's no real deep connection with that part of your body. So first of all, I think it's about reconnecting to your own body, finding that trust again within your own body. So feeling safe with your own body. And then from there, really exploring, how does my body work? What is she responding to? When is she getting more aroused? How can you expand that arousal so it can actually fill up your whole body? And from there, also learning to communicate to your partner what it is that you like. And I think for a lot of women, it's important to focus first on finding pleasure in their own body with themselves, because we put also the responsibility of finding pleasure in our partner's hands. Like, he is the one that needs to arouse us, but we can have a full body orgasm without any man touching us, without even touching our own body, just by focusing on the energy and the thoughts and the sensations in our own body. And every woman can do that. But of course,
Really?
you need to train yourself. You need to first get to know your body. And it's really finding that trust, letting go of the layers of shame and conditioning that is stored inside your body, because the body really keeps the score. Whatever you've been, pushing away or denying to look at, it's holding in your body. So of course, you mentioned stress is also a huge aspect, that yeah, your vagina is the core of your being. So if you have a lot of stress in your body, you can feel that also inside your vagina. So a lot of women also experience pain, because they tense the muscles, their pelvic floor muscles, so much. And a lot of women also, when you have tension in your pelvic floor, you can even feel it in your jaw, like a lot of jaw pain. Your jaw is connected to your pelvic floor, and your mouth is connected to your vagina muscles. Like there's so much interconnection going also on inside of your body. Yeah, there's so much to tell.
That's it. That's so funny. We were just talking about that, and my friend was saying that her jaw even is so tight. So it's funny that we bring that up.
Yeah.
Okay, crazy. That that explains a lot. So how do you recommend to start exploring these different things of what pleasure is for a woman?
Yes. Yeah. So a huge thing is to start slowing down, because
Mm.
we're going in a very masculine pace, very linear, like go, 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 go. And we are psychical beings. Well, it's hard to pronounce for me, but I think you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So our feminine is very watery, very going with the flow and listening to our emotions. Like we've been, told that, you're too emotional, or like, you're crying too easily. And so we're all also trained to repress our emotions, because it's kind of bad to feel all these emotions. But the emotions are really guiding us back to our body. So it's also, again, feeling safe, connecting to your own, slowing down, connecting to your own body, really feeling all the feelings inside of your own body, and not pushing them away, just noticing them, looking at them, acknowledging them. And then through your breathing, you can actually, like, the moment, for example, if you feel there is a lot of anger coming up. I don't know, you're in a situation, you feel really angry at your boss or whatever, and it's really coming up. And sometimes, for a lot of women, just before their period, these emotions can come up also. If you really focus on your body and say, okay, I feel anger. Where do you feel the anger? I feel it in my stomach. If you put your hands on your stomach and you say, I feel anger here in my stomach, and you just focus on that sensation where it is in your body, and you just say, I feel anger here, and you just sit with it. When you do that, you will notice that the minute that you say, I feel anger here, the anger is already becoming softer. And then if you start taking really deep full breaths in through your nose, out from your mouth, and you relax your whole body, you will feel that it's melting away. Why? Because you didn't repress it. You didn't push it away like, oh my God, I'm not supposed to feel anger. But you acknowledge it. You said, I feel it here, and it's okay that I feel anger, and it's flowing away. So I think this is something that a lot of women, if they start learning that it's okay to feel all these emotions, to feel safe in their own body with these emotions, and then, by getting to know your own body just sensually, and other beautiful practices. For example, if you don't want to touch your yoni yet, and you don't know how to self pleasure yet, and because there can be still so much trauma and layers that are on top of all of this, just to warm your own hands, like the palms of your hands, by rubbing them together, and then putting your hands on your face and just feeling the warmth from the palms of your hand on your own face. And then again, it's key is to keep breathing, to take deep, full breaths. The moment that you take deep, full breaths in through your nose, out from your mouth, or in and out from your mouth, you get more in touch with your own body. You get out of your head and more in your body. And if you then stroke your face with your hands really softly, really gently, like how you would touch a really tiny little puppy that was just born. You would do it so softly, with so much love and so much care and so much, joy also, because, oh my God, it's a little puppy, this energy. If you
Yeah.
bring that to your own face, you will already feel pleasure. And that's not even sexual, but just the pleasure of, like, oh my God, this is the warmth, the calmness, the sensation, being with my own body. And yeah, you can expand from there by doing yoni gazing, to look in a mirror at your own yoni, to, you know, look at what you think is beautiful about your own yoni. Because so many women, like I said before, like they say, oh no, it's disgusting. Why is it disgusting? It's amazing. Look at it. It's every yoni is different. And you have this like, if you google the I think it's called the vagina wall, or the wall of vaginas, and it's someone who made from clay or gips all these different types of yoni. So they actually did some plaster, or I don't know how you call it in English, but on actual female genitalia, and they made a wall out of it. So you see that they're all different. Some have like really long inner labia, some have tiny, some have like, it's amazing. You will see that they're all different. And if you really look at them, they look like flowers, like amazing flowers in nature. There's so many flowers in nature that look like vulvas, and it's beautiful. And the more that you can see the beauty of your own body, the more you will feel that your yoni really has energy and a life, yeah, on her own. Like, you can really communicate to her and get to know what she likes, and to expand that pleasure, and let that pleasure, that energy, run through your body. Because pleasure is basically energy. It's a sensation. It's an energy that you can move through your own body.
That's so cool. And you see that in relationships, out of relationships, and externally in people's lives when you work with people.
Yes, yes, yes,
Wow,
definitely, yes.
that's
And for
incredible.
many women, it's so important to first start to focus on their own, because they get distracted when they're with their partner. And I've had so many women that I worked with that, of course, you need to communicate to your partner, and you need to have a partner that is willing to say, okay, I let you, discover your body on your own. But if you have an open communication about it, like, I'm in pain, I'm suffering, I want to get to know my own body, and eventually he will also have the benefits from that. And I see so many women that really transformed themselves, but also took their partner along, like in the healthy relationship. So I'm not talking about toxic relationship, because then it's hard to do that. But when they have a healthy relationship, it's when the woman is blossoming on her own, the man is blossoming too, and they really take the relationship, or she basically takes the relationship to a whole new level. And yeah, one of my clients, her partner actually paid for a coaching, and he uh, said to her, like, this is the best investment I ever made.
Oh, that's so
Because he
beautiful.
really felt that, even though I never spoke to him, he really felt that he received coaching from me too, because his sexuality, his own relationship transformed too, through his partner.
Wow, that's incredible. And that must be so amazing to see those transformations. And
Yes,
what an incredible thing to
it's amazing.
have it blossom and grow together in a partnership. And that's not to say you can do it in or without a partnership. And that's
Yes,
also the
for
beauty of it
sure.
too.
Yes, yes, you don't have to be in a relationship to to experience pleasure, even to experience mind-blowing orgasms. Like, it's amazing to learn this on your own. And then, it's only gonna be even nicer when you finally find a man or a partner, because then you know what you want, you know how your body is working. You will discover that if you develop your sexuality on your own, you will feel much more confident, much more rooted in your own power, in your own center. And then it will be so much easier to communicate what you desire, not only sexually, but also what you desire in the relationship. And I was just talking to a few colleagues about it, like, that it's so important that women know their own desire, because that way you can guide your man to, like what I said in the beginning. Also, the masculine wants to give, he wants to serve his woman. So when you know what you want, yeah, it's the relationship will only become more beautiful, more it can blossom more.
Mm. And so we talked a little bit about how to understand yourself. What about communicating that with your partner? That can be really difficult for people sometimes. Do you find that that's something that you end up coaching on too? Do you have any tips on how to bring that up with a partner to have those challenging conversations for many people?
Yes, yeah, I definitely also, like, if women really struggle with that, I definitely also coach around that. But I think here it's really important to, first of all, like, really get clear what it is that you desire and why do you desire that. And if you explain to a man, and of course, like, if you, for example, are in the heat of the moment and he's always been doing sex in a certain way, and you tell him, like, oh, I want you to do this, men can feel triggered because they're like, oh, is something wrong with how I'm doing it? But if you so it's really about taking the right moment to have the conversation. When do you feel good? When do you feel calm? When do you feel in your power? And then tell your man, even in advance, like, I want to have a conversation about you, with you, about my sexuality, or about our sex, or about, how I feel in my body. And explain him, not by blaming him like you're doing something wrong, but saying, like, I'm experiencing this. If you talk from how you feel, and explain, like, how you want to feel and how he can help you to get there, the most men will be like, I would love to help you to get there. What can I do? Tell me, please, how I can help you. So it's all about finding the right moment, and then speaking from your own needs, speaking from your own sensations, your own feelings of, this is what I feel, this is what I desire. How can we make this happen?
That's incredible and so important. Like if you can communicate that, understanding your own body, and you
Yeah.
can communicate with your partner sexually, what can't you
Yeah,
do?
exactly. And it's also like, if you don't say, then men will not know. They will think, like, I keep on doing what I learned in porn, like watching porn, or what I learned from watching Hollywood, uh, or what my friends told me, because, that's what they think that you like. And if you never tell them that that's actually what you're not like, actually what you like is something else, then he will never change. He will continue doing what he's doing, because, how does he know that you don't like it?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to bring up too is Yoni. What does Yoni mean?
Yes, yes, Yoni. Yeah, it's beautiful, because the female genitalia has been given many names: vulva, vagina. So, but what is what? Like, many women don't know the difference between a vulva and a vagina. The vulva is the outer part, and then the vagina is the internal canal, let's say. But there is much more to it. So the word yoni is basically, it comes from, it's a Sanskrit word, and yoni means, it's a very ancient word, and yoni means vulva, so the outer part where your clitoris is, where the lips are, the opening of the vagina, the perineum. It means vagina, so the actual canal, the actual, where the shaft or the penis goes in. But it's also your cervix, and your cervix holds a lot of nerve endings where you can experience a lot of pleasure and amazing orgasms when you take off the layers that are lots of times stuck on the cervix, of, like, trauma layers, I mean, emotional layers. And then also, it's yoni is also means the womb, and yoni also means this, um, sacred life force energy, this creative energy that is stored inside your yoni, inside your womb and inside your cervix. So it's really basically the whole package. It's And also your ovaries. You see, I almost forgot something. So there's so many layers to our sexual center. and also the energetic part. So that's why I prefer to use Yoni, because it's not just the vulva, it's not just the vagina, it's the whole part, and especially also the energetic part. And that's why I chose to choose Yoni, and many women with me are choosing to name their female genitalia Yoni, because it's all embracing all parts of it.
I like that. Yeah, it's definitely a very sacred word.
Yeah.
And I think that also it's sacred in the sense that it doesn't carry along the negative connotations that we have been preconceived to in our culture.
Yes, yeah. Because many women, they use the word pussy, and pussy is also, it's embracing all parts, but a lot of women really, get like sensations from using the word pussy, because it's also been used as a swear word, just as like whore or bitch. Like it's there is a very negative energy to it, even though, like, when you look at the other side of the word bitch, it's like it's an empowered woman, but for most of us it takes a lot of reconditioning to claim back those words, so it's hard to use them. And Yoni is a, yeah, for our society, I mean, in India it's a very ancient word, but for us it's kind of a fresh word, and I think it's beautiful that we, yeah, can use that word to claim our freshness of our female
Yes.
sexuality.
Yes. We'll claim it back. The power is ours.
Yes, yeah, and with that also claim that ancient power that is attached to it, because in the ancient times women were empowered, and we were totally in connection with our own pleasure, and we there were, we knew how to also be in connection with Mother Earth, with the divine. We were this channel where we knew how to take the medicine of the land, or and even communicate to the divine. So we were really like, yeah, I mean, you can call it a witch, you can call it a priestess, you can call it whatever, but a really powerful woman, rooted in her wisdom and connected with everything around of her.
I love that.
And I think that's what we're restoring right now, and that's, I think, why we're also seeing so much chaos in our outer world, because we need to shake everything loose to take, these layers away, to reclaim our power and our wisdom, even as a humanity.
Oh my gosh, yes, absolutely. I completely agree.
Yeah.
Okay, so the other thing too, I noticed on your website that you have pleasure tools that you have on there. Do you care to share anything about that, like the yoni eggs, or I don't really know anything
Yes.
aside from
Yes,
that.
yes, yes. So I'm selling a few different glass dildos, and I sell yoni eggs, and I use those also for myself, because, for example, um, the cervix is quite deep inside your body. So to stimulate your cervix with your hand, like, I invite all women to just discover their own body first with your own hands, before you use any tools. Why?
Okay.
Because then you get the biofeedback. You really feel like, what's going on inside my vagina? Where do I feel tension? Where is it nice and soft? Where do I feel the juices flow? And it's really beautiful to get to know your body first with your own hands. But when you really want to work more and, like, release more tension, even, stimulate, there's a lot of different pressure points. If you look at Chinese reflexology, the vagina canal holds all these different reflexology points that you can stimulate also, which resonate with different parts of your body. Like the cervix is connected, for example, to the heart. So when you use a glass dildo, it's really easy to massage, to stimulate those different points, but also to reach your cervix. And I mean, you can still reach your cervix with your fingers to really connect to her and feel it. But if you want to do, longer massages, it can really give you cramps in your hands. So to use a dildo is really beautiful to stimulate longer time and to really give yourself the time to expand your sexual energy, to expand your orgasmic vibration that can grow inside your yoni, and to really fill up your body with that. And you need a longer time to do that. So then a dildo is really beautiful to work with. And I use glass because I don't like the silicone dildos or the vibrators that are really vibrating, because it's to me not natural, not natural. And glass, it's hard, but it's also at the same time, because it's so smooth, it gives a feeling of softness. So it's really sliding nicely. And because it's harder, you can really also use it to massage different points. And you can also just, slide it in and out to just stimulate if you just want to feel orgasmic pleasure. And yeah, the jade egg is a beautiful tool to play with, because you can use different techniques. A lot of women like to also work with their sexuality as a spiritual practice, and then the jade egg is really beautiful to do different practices to enhance your sexual energy, to heal different parts of your sexuality. You can even do weightlifting with a jade egg, for example. And you can even also sleep with it or walk around
Really?
with it. And even though I always say, I don't recommend you to start doing that in the beginning, you always build up and you feel first, how is your body responding to the egg, and then see how it feels, how it's working for you. And if it feels good, then eventually you can also bring it in and just walk around the house, or even go shopping and you secretly have something inside your yoni, and it's all exciting. So the jade egg is a tool that a lot of women feel attracted to, but are kind of afraid. It's a stone, and you put it inside your yoni, and what does it do, and how do I, what do I actually do with it? You just put it up there and that's it. So yes, you can just put it up there and that's it, and go around the house or do your shopping. But you can also do lots of different practices. And I created this 7-week training that I do lots of rituals. I do lots of meditations. You can even work with the energy of the egg, because the egg is a shape. The egg shape on itself is a sacred a shape, a sacred symbol, because it represents our cosmos. It represents life itself. Your womb is also shaped in the shape of an egg, if you would take it out. And so working with this symbol, with this shape, is very powerful as well. It's kind of almost like a witchy energy to it, to work with this egg and to do different practices, do different rituals, do different meditations with it, and to learn all the different things that you can do with a jade egg, from enhancing your sexual energy to releasing different emotions and energies from your body, to doing weightlifting, to connect to the divine sacred feminine, the energy of the sacred feminine, to also walk around the house or dance with it and feel what's happening inside your own body.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
What about steaming? I've heard of
Say again?
yoni steaming. Yoni steaming,
Oh,
have you heard
steaming.
of that before?
Yes.
What are your thoughts on that?
I've done it a couple of times, and it can be really beautiful to do it. But it's also because it's hot water, so I always feel a little bit afraid. Also, to you have to be really careful not to burn yourself. But it's really beautiful to steam, to bring these herbs inside, by the steam. So you're basically um, you have a bowl of hot water and you put certain herbs. So you have the herbs that have different qualities to them that you put in the water, and you basically sit over the bowl of hot water, and you take in the steam by breathing. So you do different breathing techniques that you take the as if your yoni, let's say, is breathing. So you're taking up the steam, and of course with that the qualities, I'm looking for the word, the qualities of the herbs, you take that into your yoni, and that's supposed to do like all kinds of different things to your yoni. But I am very sensitive to vaginal yeast infections, and then having more water, more steam is, for me, it's not doing so much. But there is a lot of women out there that love it. So also here again, try it out, see what's working for you, see what your yoni loves. And my yoni, for example, she loves sun gazing and moon gazing much more than steaming.
Ooh.
And that's basically just finding a spot where you can be naked, or at least your yoni can be naked, and you just let the sun shine on her or the moonlight shine on her. And my yoni loves that.
That sounds amazing.
Yes. So it's really just also here getting to know, like, what does your body love? Does she like steaming, or does she like moon gazing, or does she like sun gazing? My yoni also loves it to not wear anything, to wear just a long dress or a long skirt and be free. She basically hates underwear.
Yeah,
And yeah,
I agree.
unfortunately, it's hard in our society, because also here I live in Amsterdam, so I wear pants a lot because I'm on a bicycle a lot. So then it's really hard to not wear underwear. But she
Yeah.
would prefer to be free all day. Yeah.
That makes sense. I mean, who really wants to be trapped?
Yes. Yeah, it's true. It makes total sense when you think about it. Yeah.
That's awesome. Um, we are coming up on the hour here. Do you have any last thoughts of things that you'd like to share with anybody who's listening today?
Yeah, I mean, if anybody that's listening and is struggling, or feel like they want to know more about me or how they can work with me, just, yeah, reach out to me, send me an email, and I'm really happy to jump on a call. And my first calls are always for free, to just get to know each other and see what you're struggling with and if I can help you. And I do one-on-one coaching, but I also have a lot of different programs for, yeah, whatever you're struggling with. So definitely reach out.
That looks amazing, by the way. Definitely go check out her website and see what she has to offer.
Yeah.
And your conversation today has been so valuable. I did remember one quick question too that somebody else had. If there's any herbs or anything, like any foods that enhance sexual desire. There's a word for it. I can't think of it,
Yeah,
but
the
like,
aphrodisiacs, you mean?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I make my own yoni oil, and it's basically an oil that is on the main oil is liquid coconut oil. But I use a lot of different essential oils that really stimulate and enhance sensations inside the yoni. So I use ginger, I use vanilla, cacao. Oh God, what are the other? Let me check. I have it written here. Maybe what other ones?
Rose, cinnamon.
Cinnamon I use, yes. A little bit of peppermint I use, and there was something else, but I don't remember now. But you can also see that on my website, and they're really, first of all, they're stimulating to feel like, to awaken more sensations, but they're also antibacterial. So if you're vaginal yeast infection prone like me, it's really beautiful to massage with these oils to kill the bacteria, like the bad bacteria. And yeah, for food, it's the same. Like ginger is very stimulating, so you can definitely make more ginger teas to stimulate your body. And cinnamon, it's warming, also to make it awakens that sensuality inside your body. So there's, but yeah, this, we can talk about this for another hour.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we'll have to have you come back and talk
Yes,
about it. I'll
yeah.
contact you directly. Oh my gosh, this has been such, like, I can't believe an hour has passed already. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom today, and I'm sure that a lot of people will definitely benefit from it. And I just want to send out a reminder, or I'll let you share what's the best way to connect with you.
So they can find my website on www.unleashyourwildness.com. And you can send me an email from there, but you can also send me an email directly on unleashyourwildness@gmail.com. So that's the ways to reach out to me for any questions or to look at my products and my courses and coaching. Yeah.
Thank you. And Unleash Your Wildness is Marianne's name on Instagram as well. Go check out her stuff there. She has tons of
Follow
great
me.
stuff. Yeah.
Thank you
Oh my
so
gosh. Thank
much.
you. Yes. Thank you, Marianne. I greatly appreciate your time. And thank you, everyone, for listening. Be sure to follow the beJoy podcast on Facebook, is where you can find the page. And we are on SoundCloud as well. So if you resonate with this, please share it with others. Like us, and let me know if you know of anybody else that would be a good fit for the podcast. Thanks so much for being here.
Yay.